and a very good morning everyone. My name is Vijaya and today we're going to talk about my book haul for July and August. Yes guys, I'm making a video for July and August book haul in the month of August, not after August, because I'm going to be in a book buying ban for the next 1.5 months. I promised myself I'll only start buying another books like maybe the first week of October, because it's my birthday and I want to, celebrate with more new books. Let's start. The first one is Beauty is a Wound by Eka Kurniawan. Gosh, this book is just so freaking amazing. It's so well written. It's of an impeccable quality that if I am an aspiring writer, which I am, this is the kind of quality I'm striving for. I'm definitely striving for. It's just super amazing. Okay, it's gothic plus a little bit of supernatural plus some violence, probably some magic, some ghosts, someone rising from the dead and stuff like that. It's just super cool. It's just super good. I mean, it's really such a good book that I'll definitely reread this a lot of times. Okay, basically this book is about an Indonesian prostitute who rises from her grave to avenge a curse placed on her family. Just look at the first sentence. Let me read out the first sentence for you, okay? One afternoon on a weekend in March, Dewi Ayu rose from her grave after being dead for 21 years. That first sentence itself kind of shows that this is gonna be a book that I am gonna like, and I do like this. I enjoyed reading this so much. I finished reading this, guys. I know this is a book haul video, but I finished reading this book because it's just so amazing. It draws me in. I just can't stop reading it. It's just too amazing. I would love to talk about this book a lot more, but that will be for another video. Another individual video, especially for this book. Beauty is a Wound by Eka Kurniawan. Eka Kurniawan is an Indonesian writer, so yay to that. Because you see, it's part of my reading resolution to read books from another countries as well. And also because, being half Indonesian, it's important for me to embrace my roots and to understand my own culture, and this is part of the Indonesian culture, and I'm so glad that I picked the right book for my first Indonesian read. It's just super amazing. Love to talk about this a lot more, but that's for another video. And next we have Seperti Dendam Rindu Harus Dibayar Tuntas by Eka Kurniawan. Yes, again, this book is by Eka Kurniawan. What is the English translation? I kind of forgot. Wait for a moment please. This has such an interesting premise. Okay, it's about this one guy. Obviously this book is set in Indonesia, and then there's this one guy, actually not guy, like it's a boy, I guess. It's a young teenage boy. He witnessed a rape scene. Okay, he witnessed 2 policemen raping a crazy woman, a mentally ill woman, and since that incident he becomes impotent. His stick wasn't able to get up, and it's just okay, it's interesting. I feel like there's something that's, the author is trying to teach us over here, but yeah, I have to read this before I comment anything. And definitely this is like the second book I'm gonna start reading after Beauty is a Wound. I guess my TBR for August is gonna go like bye TBR, bye August TBR. Like, I see a shiny new book and I'm just gonna read my shiny new book. The third one over here is Someone's in My Head by Stephen Steele. This is a science fiction novel, and I'm surprised by the fact that I actually purchased this. Yes, why did I purchase this? Oh yes, because there's a science fiction genre and I rarely read science fiction, so I guess it's a great start. And secondly, it's also by a Malaysian author, so it's like killing 2 birds with 1 stone. I mean, my reading resolution, like read more diversely, read more genres and read, you know, more local books and read more classics or whatever, you know, like as long as I'm reading diversely. And it's just so great. It's just great. Things have been going great so far, despite the fact I'm throwing my August TBR away. Stephen Steele as a Malaysian author. This is not his real name. This is a pseudonym, okay? I don't remember what's his real name. Look at the premise. Okay, looks at the premise, okay? Looks at the premise. It's about Jared, who ends up in hospital after a close brush with death. He was traumatized but still alive, okay? But then he starts realizing that something is wrong because he starts behaving abnormally, and probably that's because there's someone in his head. That's just so creepy. I mean, just imagine someone's in your head. Like, is that a tiny human in your head, or like someone controlling your brain, your mind from some other, you know, some control room, you know? Just imagine those kind of things, those creepy kind of things. Oh my god, gosh. It's like, I can't imagine. Like, I mean, I can imagine. But yeah, basically that's the premise. I haven't read this book. I don't know anything else about this book, so I'm just gonna end it at that. And once I have read the whole book, maybe I can do an individual review as well. We'll just see, okay? And next, we have this Angela Carter's book of fairy tales. Obviously, this is a book about fairy tales, and this book about fairy tales are not written by Angela Carter. Obviously, it's not her who created this, but it's her who compiled it and edited all the stories in this book. And let's face the truth, I bought this book because of its beautiful book cover, and also for the fact that the fairy tales in this book is filled with violence and weird stuff. Like, instead of princesses and fairies, you will see lots of violence, lots of creepy stuff, lots of disturbing things, and I think that's the kind of fairy tales I like to read. Like, yay, too violent characters. Oops, sorry. I don't mean to be violent to you, little lamb. I'm sorry. I am so sorry. I'm just carried away by this violence in this book. I'm sorry. It's okay, the lamb is gonna recover soon, okay? Anyway, yes. First of all, look at the illustrations at the cover, on the cover of the book. Like, amazing. It's just so amazing. And then there's this illustration. Creepy, 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 but cool. Okay, so this book has this, you know, stories from all over the world. It's not just, you know, American or Europe stories. There are also stories European. It's not just American or European stories, but there's also stories from Asia, from the other continents as well. And it's just super diverse. So guys, again, this is like killing two birds in one stone. Almost. Finally, the two books I've been dying to introduce to you guys. These two Russian classic books. The first one I have here is The Master and Margarita by Mikhail Bulgakov. And then the next one is Crime and Punishment by Fyodor Dostoevsky. I've seen these books quite a lot on BookTube, and it intrigued me. And especially with the fact that these books have beautiful book covers. I've seen this on Bookstagram, on Instagram, and then they just look so beautiful, and I know how to have it. But of course, I did my research first on, you know, which books that I would probably like the most. And yes, I choose these two books, The Master and Margarita by Mikhail Bulgakov and Crime and Punishment by Fyodor Dostoevsky. In fact, I finished reading Master and Margarita. This book is just super amazing. I didn't expect to like this. I mean, it's a classic, so I expected it to be, you know, dull and uninteresting. I mean, I've read classics. Some of them can be very interesting, but some of them can be quite dull, and I expected this to be quite dull. So I went for this book with a very low expectation. I wouldn't say very low, but low expectation, I guess. Mediocre expectation. And I ended up loving this so much, and I'm glad I made the right choice. Okay, this book has all the elements that I love. Okay, it has a demon, it has a talking cat, demon and talking cat, perfect combination. It also has reference to historical figures. It also has some supernatural and black magic, which I'm definitely a fan of in books. And all these amazing elements combined together. Of course, this book has its own flaws, like the fact that the second half of the book, I love the book, but then the second half is quite flawed in my opinion. It's quite flawed. I just feel like it could be better, but I definitely love this book as a whole despite that. I mean, I love everything from the first page to the last page, but I don't love the second half of the book as much as I love the first half of the book. That's just it. But the elements, the things, it's just amazing. And the fact that it actually has reference to Stalin is interesting, because I am actually not very knowledgeable about the Russian Revolution, about Stalin and that. I mean, I know it on the surface, but I'm not very knowledgeable about it. And that's one of the reasons also why I was intimidated by this book, because I was a bit scared by the fact that I won't get the references. I mean, it's not just about not getting the references, I'm also scared of not being able to enjoy the story in this book. And surprisingly, this book can be read by someone who is not very knowledgeable about Russian history. I mean, you can still enjoy this book. I was actually considering whether I should do the analysis while I'm reading the book, or should I do the analysis after reading this book. And I choose to do it after I read this book. And the reading experience was not interrupted at all. It was not affected at all, because I was still able to enjoy the whole story. So guys, you don't have to worry about the fact that you don't know much about Russian history, because it can still be enjoyed. But of course, I will definitely advise you to still do analysis, because the reason why we read books in the first place is because we do not just want to enjoy it, but also want to learn something out of it. And yes. Next, we have Crime and Punishment by Fyodor Dostoevsky. This book, okay, well, I have to admit, partially I decided to buy this title particularly. Okay, you see in the vintage classic editions, all the book covers are so beautiful, but I was restricting myself to just 2 books because I was trying to control myself, to have more self-control. And I bought this book, partially because of BookTube, seen people talk about it a lot, and also because, it's like one of those titles with really beautiful book covers. And I just decided to buy this. I just decided to buy this. And also because of course it's also because of the elements in this book. This book is about a guy who committed a terrible crime and he was haunted by it. Okay, crime and haunted, those are like 2 elements that I love in the book. And so yeah, I decided to buy this book. Okay, there's a lot of factors that contributed to the to the end purchase, that contributed to the fact that I actually purchased the book, and those are like my reasons. I know some of them can be pretty shallow, but it's just personal preferences. I see nothing wrong with that. Yeah, so guys, thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you enjoy my book haul, and if you have read any of the books that I mentioned, please do leave a comment. If you're interested to read any of the books that I mentioned, please do leave a comment as well. And thank you very much. See you next time.